welcome to the Afrocentric Woman. I'm sitting up here finishing my coffee. I might have to re up one time for your mind because I am like so sleepy. I worked out hard in the gym today and I worked out hard Monday and Tuesday, and I'll be going back tomorrow. I took yesterday off because I took my little one for a wellness checkup. So I wasn't going to have time to go to the gym yesterday. But I'll be back in there tomorrow, hitting it hard. I wanted to go live last night, but I was so sleepy, y'all, because I had this conversation with like two scamming ass dudes, and I wanted to come tell y'all about it, but I was sleepy. I was kind of delirious. Like I probably would have fell asleep on the live. So I thought to myself, no, let me just go to sleep and I'll try to come on and do it today. Now, I want to talk about scamming ass dudes online that you need to be aware of. Now, the financial scams are, I feel like, a little bit easier to I feel like the financial scams are a little bit easier to detect. And there's already a lot of content out there on that. I don't know if y'all need information on that. I mean, just go on YouTube and put sugar daddy scam and you will get a lot of information about different scams to avoid, from like guys telling you, "Hey, send me money and I'm gonna send you 10,000, and then you keep 7,000 for yourself, and then you send me 3,000." I think, do y'all all know that that's a scam, right? Y'all already know, y'all should know that that's a scam because they'll get your $3,000, which is real money, but the 10,000 was never real. And there's all types of little different financial scams, like, oh, let me pay you in a check. There's scams where guys send you money on PayPal and then they'll take the money back. There's also been guys scamming on Cash App where they'll send you money on Cash App and they'll try to take the money back, or they'll dispute the money after they already get what they want from the situation. They'll try to dispute the money on Cash App. PayPal is probably the easiest way to get your money back, which is why PayPal is the worst. It's the absolute worst way you could ever accept money from a man. It's the worst way you could ever accept money from a man is via PayPal, because there's so many different things that he can do to dispute it or get the money back easily from you, and you'll be looking stupid. The best way is cash in your hand. That's always preferred. Maybe second best is Zelle, you know. But one thing I can tell you in general about financial, because I really didn't come on here to talk about financial. I want to talk about another type of scamming. But just in general, for when you're getting money from a man, you always want to have a paper trail. You always want to have a paper trail. I don't care if you sat in front of his face and you talked to him about it, like, "Oh, babe, I need this, $1,000 for that," woo, woo, woo. And then he sends it to you. Always just send a text message, even if he's right there. Just send a text message to say, "Thank you for the gift." You always want to have a paper trail. "Thank you for the gift. I just got it. Thank you." Now, God forbid he tried to dispute that money or try to sue you for the money or something like that. It's going to be harder because you have a paper trail. Because if he had a problem with the money, he should have responded right then and there and say, "That was not a gift. It was a loan." Or he should say, "What do you mean $1,000? I didn't send you $1,000. But if he says you're welcome, then he's acknowledging that he gave you a gift. So that's just a general tip to protect yourself when accepting money from guys. Okay, now I really came on here to talk about scamming out of your cookies. Okay, this is becoming very prevalent. I mean, because I just talked to two different guys who are clearly con men, clearly talking a game. I'm like, I'm not naive. That's the problem. You're not going to get very far with this tired ass game. Let me tell you some of the themes among these conversations with these guys that try to scam like that. These guys, they start talking about something like, I'm so affectionate and I'm just looking for the right woman. And it's like they don't know you from a can of paint, but they feel comfortable to tell you that they feel that they're just so affectionate. And you're like, okay, where the hell is this coming from? Another thing is that they're going to tell you, they're going to try to sell a fantasy. Now, keep in mind, I have talked about fantasy on this channel on other aspects, but this is a different type of fantasy. This is a sort of a delusional fantasy. This is a fantasy of falling in love. You're the one. And you're like, there's there's thousands of beautiful women where you live. Yeah, but I just think that there's just something special. The reason why me and you got connected and you're so beautiful. And I just think that when two people fall in love, there's just nothing, they would move mountains to be with each other. And then you just let them talk that talk. And you're like, okay, so where did you have in mind for our first date? Then they're stumbling and fumbling because you're bringing them back down to reality. They are banking on the fact that you're so deprived of love and you're just so desperate to be seen and you're so desperate to be heard and you're so desperate to have a companion that you will just eat up the bullshit that they're serving hook, line, and sinker. That's what they're banking on. And I think that as Black women, we have a specific hurdle to overcome in the area of this with all races of men. With all races of men, we have a specific hurdle because we are attached to a group of derelict men who constantly demean us on a world stage every day. And they keep repeating the bullshit. You're the least protected and the least, whatever it is, least protected and the least, what's the other one? Least valued or some shit like that. I don't know. So, do some con men prey on Black women? Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. And if you're carrying extra weight on your body, even harder for you. It's going to be even harder for you because guys are definitely going to try to prey on you because they will think you don't have any options and they will think that you're desperate and that you're going to be an easy lick. They look at you like an easy lick. So this is why we have to be very diligent in vetting because we want to make sure that we don't get negatively affected by this atmosphere we have that really doesn't even have a lot to do with us, but with the environment and the people around us and then the group of men that we're unfortunately connected to. So that just kind of sets the backdrop as to why so many con men are attracted to trying to scam Black women out of their cookies for free. They think that we're free. They think that's what they think. A lot of guys think that. Guys of all races think that, oh, Black women are easy and free. I don't have to work very hard for her. I don't have to try that hard for her. I mean, it sucks. I don't make the rules. I don't make the environment. I'm just surviving the environment the best way I know how, and I'm trying to share everything I learned with you ladies to help you survive the best way you know how as well. So back to these con men. These con men try to sell a fantasy very early on. They really don't want to talk about practical logistics. They want to talk about nonsensical bullshit, like falling in love and riding off into the sunset and taking trips to exotic places and all this type of stuff. They like to name drop. They like to casually mention that they're doing so well in their career, or they got a bonus, or those kinds of things. They just like to casually mention that when you didn't even ask. You won't ask them, hey, how much do you make a year? Or, oh, hey, are you financially comfortable? You won't ask that. They will just offer this information unsolicited. And what the tactic that they're employing is they're selling a fantasy and they want you to put yourself in it and they want you to think, oh my God, I got a great catch. This guy is wealthy. This guy has this and that. And I'm finally going to get what I want, right? I'm finally going to get what I want. That's what they want you to think. Meanwhile, both of these guys from two different states who did the exact same, who were trying to run the exact same con on me. I'm like, well, what do you want to do for a date? Okay, so con man number one says, um, we could go on a picnic, we could walk along the shoreline, we could go to the museum or the movies, or I think he said. That's comment number one. And then comment number two, he didn't even make any suggestions for a date. And then he says, well, I was planning on going on vacation on that weekend, but since you're asking me to cancel it, and I said, what? Hold on. I'm not asking you to cancel your vacation wherever you're going. I would never do that. I'm just talking to you for the first time. If you're going to be in the city that I am already planning to be in, if you're planning to be there, then we could have a date. If you're planning on being across the country, then you were planning on being across the country. Maybe there may be another opportunity. Who knows? But they do stuff like that. They try and make themselves seem more important than what they are. Like, now these guys want you to audition, okay? These guys are the guys who say, hey, let's meet for drinks so that I can see what type of chemistry we have. And then maybe we'll have dinner. Now, if you are new to my channel, then you don't know. But if you are an OG on this channel, then you know I don't do that. I don't audition for no date, okay? I don't do that. It is what it is. I don't use filters. I don't, I don't use Snapchat filters and photo tune and auto tune and Photoshop and all of that. No, you see what you get. You get to talk to me. You get to interact with me a little bit. Now, if you're curious enough and if you're attracted to me enough to invite me on a date, I'll go. But what we're not fenced to do, okay, what we're not fenced to do is I'm not meeting you for no pre-date date. Anytime a guy does that, he's putting you at a disadvantage and he's putting himself in an advantage. He's putting you in a way that you're pursuing him and that he's not pursuing you. It's very important to always maintain the air of you're the one being pursued. These guys will try to bait you into, especially these old con man, fake ass sugar daddies. They try to bait you into making them the prize or making them more special than they are. And there's a reason for that. They want to equalize the playing field because they know good and damn well they are 10, 20, 30 or more years older than you. And they want to establish that it's something more than what it is. When you know good and damn well, for every decade younger that the woman is than you, that means it's at least $10,000 more that you're going to be spending. Stop it, Walter. Stop playing games, Walter. We're not naive. We're not stupid. We already know the deal. Okay. You're not about to get over on one. So these guys will say something like, oh, the age doesn't bother you, does it? This is how you gonna respond to that. Something along the lines of, usually I just ignore their ass, but if they insist, I try to just change the subject because I would prefer that it be an elephant in the room. I want the age gap to be an elephant in the room so that you keep knowing that you need to pay. But if they insist on it and they bring it up again and again, then just be like, yeah, I realize that. How do you feel about it? And then when they say, well, I'm okay, then be like, okay, I'm glad you are. Don't say how you feel about it. Because if you tell him that you're perfectly fine dating a guy who's way older than you, then he's going to be like, oh, great. Then I can compete with the 35-year-old men. I can compete with the men your own age. And I really don't have to do anything extra. No, Walter, you need to be doing extra. You're old. Stop it. Stop it. Like, you're not about to try to, like, you have to really be savvy and get with these dudes. They know what they're doing, okay? They're not stupid. You're not the first young woman that they've talked to. They're not stupid. They play games, they run games, they know what they're doing. So you need to know what they're doing and you need to stay in control so that you can make sure that any interaction that you have is going to be lucrative for you. So that's one thing that they try to do is or they'll be like, "Why did you swipe on me?" Now, this is not an innocent question. This is not an innocent question. It is a question with a motive. They're trying to make you praise them so that they can equalize the age difference. Like if you're like, "Oh, I just thought you were so, handsome and I love your gray beard and oh, you're so tall and I was attracted to that." Then they're like, "Okay, great. Great. I'm down there, back down there with the 35-year-old men that you really should be dating." No. I always when they ask me that, "Why did you I'm like, "Well, I noticed you were already in my queue." So that's what I tell them because honestly, I really don't like swiping on anybody who hasn't swiped on me first. You need to swipe on me first. So when they ask, "Why did you swipe on me?" I'm already ready to tell them, "Well, I noticed that you had swiped me. You were, in my queue." Because I'm not about to gas you up, bro. No, you need to remain sober and you need to remain conscious that you are old. Don't ever forget that. Don't ever let them forget that they are old. You are old. And we're not about to skip past that. We're not about to do past that. We're not about to pretend that you're 30 something years old. You're old, Walter. That's so let's just keep things sober. Now, you want to be a gentleman? I'll be a lady. Absolutely. Nobody's going to pull me out of my character, but I'm also not about to be roped into the games that you're trying to play. That's what we're not fenced to do. No, absolutely not. So beware of this tactic when they try to equalize their age by making you compliment them. Don't buy into that shit. Do not compliment them until they spend money on you. And I've talked about that multiple times in this channel. Do not compliment them until they start spending money on you. Because one of the guys, the one who didn't mention anything about a date, I think that his main con was emotional connection with a younger woman. Just to talk and gab and probably like veer off into sexual, talking and shit like that. You know, in hopes that he said something like, "Well, I know 20 year keep in mind, I'm not even like in my 20s." He's like, "I know 20-year-olds want to be taken care of, and I'm fine with that." Listen, that's a con. Anytime a man who has never been on a date with you, he's never seen you in person, he's never experienced you, he's never smelled you or hugged you or held your hand and sat across the dinner table with you, outright tells you that he's fine with taking care of you, know that it's a con. He's banking on this type of con man is banking on the fact that you're going to be so desperate to get a sugar daddy because there's a lot of channels on YouTube that talk about getting sugar daddies and being a sugar baby and all this type of stuff. And girls get really excited. Girls get really excited. They get really eager. They're like little eager beavers. They try to follow the things, they get the dress, they get the heels, the da 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 da, and they just run out there and they think that they're just going to find a sugar daddy like that, not understanding how difficult this lifestyle is. It's challenging. Like, girl, girl, you even about that life? They're banking on those eager beavers and they just want to tell you, "Oh yeah, I have no problem taking care of you. And I understand. I know what you need." And then you're like, "All right, so what about our date?" And then they're like, "Well, blah, blah, blah." And then they're just like, "So tell me about you. Tell me about Just some nonsensical bullshit. You know that they're full of shit. Or if they're telling you they're going to take care of you and then they're talking about taking you on a picnic or taking you to a free museum, you know they're full of shit. If you're ready to spend if you're ready to give me $5,000 for all my expenses, but then when it comes to a $200 date, you're thinking about taking me on a picnic, it's not adding up. So you need to be aware of those kinds of things. And that is why I stress that first date, like making it make it count, because you need to see if they're that's a way of vetting. Are they conning you, or is it the real deal? Any guy, this is what these con men try to do. These con men want you to prove yourself to them. They're always constantly trying to put you in a position to prove yourself to them. Like, well, I've been scammed before. I've been done wrong before. I paid this girl's rent and she ran off. Or I was paying for this girl's body surgery and she really had another boyfriend, da 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 da. Listen, always keep in mind that this man's experiences is not your burden. Let me repeat myself. That man's experience is not your burden. Just the way guys tell you that they don't want to pay for the mistakes of other men, you need to have that same attitude. I don't think I would articulate it like that, but I ignore the shit out of them when they start whining and crying about who did what when. I don't give a shit. I don't know that lady, never seen that lady. I haven't took your money and ran off. I'm sitting right here. If you're scared, just say it, Walter. If you're scared, just say it. But I'm not about to alter what I do and how I do it because 9 times out of 10 they're lying anyway. They're lying to make you shift into an energy of proving, I'm not the scamming lady. I'm not like that bad lady who had the boyfriend and didn't tell you. I'm not like that lady who you paid her rent and she ran away. No, I'm going to show you how loyal and down I am. I'm not even going to ask you for anything for a while. And I'm going to give you my cookies. I'm going to give you my love. I'm going to give you everything. And then I'm going to show you how good I am. And then you're going to start helping me. You played yourself. You played yourself. You played yourself. And then once you start demanding money, guess what? He's going to take that con. He's going to go run it on the next woman. And you're going to be looking stupid. Don't be that girl. Don't be that woman. Don't be that woman that gets game ran on her. Don't do it. Stay in the present moment. What is he doing right now? What did he offer for a date? Is he trying to impress you? A lot of these guys are horn dogs, but is he containing himself? Is he being respectful? Or is he just coming out the mouth, letting anything fly out the mouth? He don't give a shit. Because if he letting anything fly off the mouth, he don't care if you leave or if you stay. If he's not trying to contain himself, he don't care if you leave or if you stay. Because he got another one in the queue, some naive, whatever, in the queue, waiting to be scammed and conned about her cookies. Don't do it. That's the game. That's the con. The con is to promise you something in the future, to brag about how much money they have. Meanwhile, you're not getting any of it. They want to talk about this future love, this future relationship, and all this extra stuff. Meanwhile, they're trying to take you on a cheap date. They want you to audition for a place into their life. They want to position you into a place of complimenting and doting on them so that they can equalize the age. Oh, well, you're the one who really desires me. You just said so. You said I was attractive and I'm tall and I'm this and I'm that. So obviously, I'm the hot one. Don't even fall into it. When he compliments you, just say thank you. When he says, oh, you're beautiful, don't say, oh, well, you're so handsome. Don't do that. Just say thank you. You're so sweet, Walter. My goodness. Just accept it. Do not start complimenting him till he's spending money on you. Reward him for good behavior, but not just for just being male. No, that's not enough. Because there's a science to the con. These guys are old. They've been running this game for decades. So nothing that they do is by chance. They've been honing their conning skills for years. Years. And you think you're just gonna look up, have a conversation with somebody. He's like, "Oh yeah, I definitely want to be your sugar daddy. I can see myself taking care of you." What? Ask yourself, what is it so special about me that this guy would want to sit up here and pay all my bills? I mean, yeah, we're all special, but how does he even know it from a couple conversations? How would he know that? It's a con. It's just because he doesn't have any intention of doing it. There are men who do that, but they are not as blunt as that. Once they get comfortable with you, they will start doing more and more for you. That's usually, you could talk to any successful sugar baby and they'll tell you that's how it goes. It's not like date one, all your bills paid. That's not usually how it goes. They date you, they feel comfortable with you, they have extra money, they have expendable income, and you set the pace from the beginning and they start paying bills or they start giving you lump sums of money. You do whatever you want with it. That is rare. It's not on every corner that you find a guy like that. So if you find one easily who's already offering that without even knowing you, without even going on a date with you, without even offering to take you to a nice place, be ye ware. Be ye ware that it is a con and it's a scam. They're not trying to scam you out of money. They're trying to scam you out of affection and intimacy. Not like real intimacy, just, physical. That's it. That's what they're trying to scam. And they don't have no money. Like one of the one of the con artists I talked to, one of his pictures really didn't match the rest of them. Cause you're like, I typically do like guys in pharmaceutical sales because pharmaceutical sales guys make a lot of money. But I saw he said he was supposedly in pharmaceutical sales, but when I looked at like in his house, like his couch looked very cheap and the dining set looked like a rinky dink dining set. Like it just looked cheap. And it's just like, I'm not really buying it. I'm not really buying what you're selling. And then he's the one I talked to who didn't even want to confirm one date. So I just blocked him. I just blocked him because I don't have time for that shit. I have so many guys that I need to vet. I have so many conversations going on right now. I don't have time for your broke con man ass. I don't. You picked the wrong one. But we need to get as many women on game as possible because the only reason why they're thriving in their con is because women are naive and they don't see through the bullshit. They don't read between the lines and they take what these dudes say at face value when they don't even have anything to back it up. They don't even have a track record of receiving any provisions from these guys. Zero. It's the nuance of the con. A guy who tries to get so familiar with you so fast, you know, he's talking more about the future than he is about the next logical step. And the next logical step is date number one. Date number one. Let me look at these. Let me look at the comments. Yeah. I've met a few of them wanting me to audition. Like, really? Wow. Don't audition. Yeah. Don't audition. Hey, African Humanist. Hey, Icy. Hey, Alchemy. Hey, Myanmar. Picnic date. That's what he said. I don't give a shit, girl. I'd be blocking and deleting because getting mad gives you wrinkles. Getting mad causes you stress, and I don't even have the time. Blockity block party. You're welcome for the lessons. His house and furniture should be in a line. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe I'll do another line. I might do another live on that, and I can make a whole vetting series because that's how you vet from the beginning when you are online dating. And I can tell you that usually guys who are faking, they try to they'll like if they have a Mercedes, they'll take a picture in front of the Mercedes. Like they want to make sure that that Mercedes logo is in the picture. And you know why they're doing that? They're doing that because it's highly likely that that's like the best thing that they have going for them. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't have shit else going for them. So they want to do that. But like quiet money, low key money, understated money, they don't do stuff like that. To them that would look very um what's the word? Low class. Yeah, they would see that as a very like classless picture and unnecessary. And honestly, these guys with like real money, I don't think that it would even dawn on them to do that. Like, ooh, let me do that. Because like when you have confidence, when you've accomplished a lot in your life as a man, you have a lot of confidence. You don't need especially when you're talking 40s, 50s and up, you don't the car is not an accomplishment that you're proud of. The car is just something to get you from point A to point B. And it might be a Tesla, it might be a Mercedes, it might be a Maserati, whatever. It might be a Porsche. It's not that big of a deal to you because you have a lot of other things going on in your life and your car just gets you from point A to point B. When you actually have real accomplishments and real money. But when you're broke and you really don't have shit going for yourself and you happen to have a good car, that's like the most important thing to you. That's the something that you're going to use to try to lure women into you because you really don't have shit else to offer. You know you're unattractive, you really don't have money, you don't have anything that's attractive to women. So you think that posing a picture in front of a BMW is going to attract high quality women. It's not. It's only going to attract low quality women who don't know any better because I can promise you all those guys that do that, I swipe left on them because that's not even my type of guy. Too lowbrow. Hi, Kiki. Uh, does confirming help with not getting stood up? Can you repeat that question, Kiki? Because I don't quite know what that means. Yes, Sissy, I think I talked about that in another one of my videos. In like one of my very first videos when I talked about early devaluation in dating. There was a guy who took a picture in a lot of expensive cars like Maseratis and Porsche and all of that. And he showed up to the date in a Hyundai. But you know what? It turned out he was a mechanic. So I think that he was taking pictures in his customers' cars. I think that that's what happened. Icy says, you usually say you stay away from finance guys because they watch their money closely. I'm majoring in accounting. As a college student, should I stick to STEM majors? Um, you're in college? Well, if you're dating a guy in college, Icy, it's just for fun anyway, right? So, um, it really doesn't matter who you date in college. I think that you should date different types of guys so that you can see what you like. If you're dating college aged guys, because the chances of that becoming anything are very slim. So I would think about college dating as a way to get experience, have fun, you know, go out, that kind of a thing. But if you are thinking about something more lucrative or something, that's maybe could help you pay for college, I would think an older guy, an older guy. But if you're an undergrad and you're looking at a grad student that maybe is about to finish, maybe they have like a really good internship somewhere, like at a corporation that they're going to get a job for sure, then it doesn't really matter because you're going to kind of grow with him, right? You're going to grow with him. So it's not as it's not much as like as serious. Now when you're in your 30s and 40s, which you're not, then it's different. We don't have the time that you have. You have more time, I see, to experience things and have fun, and you're not on like a super time scale. I really wouldn't be thinking about a serious relationship until about 25, right? So there's that. And then Kiki, I don't know if you're still in the chat box, but if you are, if you could repeat your question because I didn't understand it. Um Lexi Life says I would not want to meet my husband in college. Yeah, it's really rare. I mean, I think if you're an undergrad and you like find somebody that's in grad school that's about to finish soon, it could maybe possibly work. But 9 times out of 10, you're just going to have fun in college and, focus on your studies and get yourself set up, you know, to be stable. And I mean, if I could do it over again, I would date older if I could do it over again. So just date for fun and experience then because I feel this pressure to strategize rather than enjoy my time. You might as well, girl. You might as well enjoy your time. Seriously, because you're young and do you even know what you want? You know what I mean? Do you even know? It took me a while to figure out that I don't like dating accountants. It's not like I knew that. I had to date them to figure that I didn't like it. So I think that if you date a variety of men, keep your cat in the bag, but date a variety of men, then you for yourself, you're gonna figure out what it is that you like for you, and not what Afrocentric woman likes, because I like what I like. But you're gonna figure out what you like for you. Yeah, alchemy. I think because we're in our 30s, we're in a different situation than her, and in women in her position. They kind of have a different they're just in a different place in life. It's not about getting into a serious relationship right now. Whereas we've lived some life, we know what we want, we know what we like, you know? So, and our cutoff game is strong. And I think that, 20-year-olds, y'all, I hope that 20-year-olds don't waste their time either. Like, as long as you're having fun and you're being respected, okay, cool. And still, don't pay for anything, even if it's a college guy. If he can't afford to take you out on a date, then don't date him. Now, granted, he might not be able to afford to take you to the best steakhouse in town, but wherever you guys go, whatever you do, he should be able to pay. And if he can't pay and he's expecting you to go Dutch, then I would just not even I wouldn't even fool with him. I wouldn't even fool with him because he should take you somewhere that he can afford. I don't care if he's 18, 19, 20, 21. He should take you somewhere that he can afford. Yeah, Luxie, me too. Says it depends, but I personally prefer older established men. Yeah, I do too. I do too. I just think that we just have to understand these cons that these guys be running though. These guys, they watch and they just drop little hints like, "Oh, I make good money," or "I'm well off, I'm financially secure. I'm just looking to spoil the right girl. I'm just looking to share my life with the right one." Like, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it because all of those are just like they're just little diversionary little statements that's going to make you want to give more because a lot of women, when they find a guy who says those kinds of things and maybe lives in a nice neighborhood or has a nice condo or high rise or whatever the case may be, they think, "Oh, I got a good one. I don't want to let him go." And they would be willing to compromise themselves a lot more than they normally would, because they think, "Oh, well, this is a lucrative situation for me." Meanwhile, they haven't seen one red penny, not nary a one, Not nary a one. He's just dropping hints and, "Oh, I was in the south of France last year. I was in Monaco. Oh, my company just went public. Oh, I'm doing so good." Ask him for $100. Ask him for some money and see what he says, what he does. "Mister, I was in Monaco last summer." Oh, is that what this is about? Okay. It's interesting that now money is offending you because you've been bragging. And I mean, I don't say this, this is just all things that I think in my head. You've been bragging about money all night since I met you. You've been dropping hints about money. And I told y'all the other day when this guy threw the kitchen sink at me. This man threw the kitchen sink at me. Do you know on the north side of the north side of town, this exclusive gated community? Oh yeah, that's where I have my house. And I own apartment buildings and I'm doing this and I'm a da 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 and do 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 do. This is this guy. And for me, it was overwhelming and it was unnecessary. It was just too much. That leads me to believe that you know why I'm here and you're trying to tell me what you think I want to hear so that you can get what you want. But no, because I've been there, I've done that, I've dealt with con men, I've heard all the configurations. Now, I will say they do innovate their con language a little bit, so you just have to continue to be savvy and continue to read through the lines, and you have to continue to just see what's happening right now. What is the behavior right now? How much of your money from your account is transferring to mine? Have you seen anything about my life and offered to make my life easier, more comfortable? You know what I'm saying? Have you seen any opportunities that you could make my life easier, more comfortable, and then you just jump in and do it? Or do you see me and you just give me a raggedy ass TED talk and send me on my way? All right, I'm looking at the comments. Um, okay, y'all are talking to each other. I don't know what Kiki meant with her question. She might have had to drop out the chat. I really regret not spending more time with girls who are strategic with dating. There were two girls in college who were really about marrying up and their mothers had, but I felt unconfident. Yeah, same here, Sissy. I knew some girls in college who weren't really paying like for their books and stuff, and they weren't paying our books were so expensive. They weren't paying for books and they weren't paying for like some of the like not the tuition, but like those student fees and recreation fee and all this stuff they tack on. Those girls weren't paying for a lot of that stuff. Some of the girls weren't paying for their rent. And I heard about it. I remember checking out like one website. They're like, "Oh, go on this website and you won't have to pay." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And I couldn't really figure it out. And of course, I knew a lot of pick and I was dating guys my own age. And it was just, I wasted all my time when I could have not had student loans. Uh, yeah, yeah, they do that. They be faking the funk, um, pretending like they're so shocked about money when they just been talking about it. Let me see. Do I remember the British show? The couple on there, the guy was fibbing about his status and wealth. I don't remember that show. I don't remember that show, but guys do that, especially if they're psychopathic. They will live a whole double life. I always verify assets. I always do. I remember I was dating this guy very briefly who said he owned, I think, two planes, and I was like, okay, I didn't believe it. He even showed me pictures. I'm like, oh, it doesn't matter. You can just go anywhere where a plane is and just pose in a picture. I don't believe anything until I can verify it through an outside source. So I did some digging and yep, he did. Those planes were registered to him. He did own those planes. But that's how I am with guys. I verify. I verify assets. Look at how much their house is worth. There's different things that you can do to verify assets. Verify where they work. Go on Glassdoor and see what people make in that position. See what other people have made who've left that company. Or see, in that position and how much they're getting paid, or go on Glassdoor and see what is the average salary range for that particular position in a company. I'll do that too, just to see how much money they make. If it's a company that they own, or, you can look all that information up to make sure that their name really is on it. What percentage of the company do they own? That's all verifiable information. So you definitely have to vet these guys, because guys be lying. But again, it doesn't matter how much money he has if it's not going to you. If it's just in his bank and he's expecting for you to give up everything that you have just because he's wealthy, like, I'm wealthy, therefore give it to me. Like, no, that's a con. They want you to do that. Because when they're very promiscuous, they can't afford as many women as they want, or it would be financially stupid. So in that sense, they want you to just give it up for free. That way they can have 10 naive girls in their rotation. They'd have 10 naive women in their rotation at one time, and they're not giving any of them anything. All of them think that they have a chance to be the one. All of them think that they have a chance to one day, if I bust it open the right way, if I do the splits the right way, if I pop it on my handstand the right way, I'm going to get a bag eventually. Meanwhile, she's playing herself. She's playing herself. That's not how this works, ladies. Not y'all, but whoever needs to hear this. That's not how it works. You don't get the Hermes bag and get it and then pay it later down the line. No, you pay first, then you get the bag. Then you get it. You don't roll up into the Maserati dealership and take the Maserati for however a year and then be like, all right, I've enjoyed this Maserati for a year. It's definitely worth it. I'm going to go ahead and pay them. That's not how this works. No, you pay for the car, you get the car. Don't ever let these guys con you into giving up what's precious to you, that you gonna get paid one day down in the back end. No, we don't do that shit over here. We are too smart. You're not gonna come over here scamming us out of our preciousness. No, sir. It's not gonna happen. We peep that tired ass, ran through ass game that you trying to run, that you trying to play, that you're trying to dangle carrots. You trying to get us to pump you up that you're not old and decrepit. No, we know why you're here. You know why we are here. You like what you see, you pay. You pay first. You pay before you take. You pay before you touch. You pay before you smell. You pay. You pay first. Cash, preferably. Cash. You pay. You show me who you are. You show me that you can back it up. They're always, remember, they're the ones trying to prove something to you. Don't ever let that dynamic change. Don't ever let that dynamic change. They're the ones proving something to you. They're proving their worthiness. They're proving their stability. They're proving their quality. They're proving that they're a good guy. That they're proving that they're going to stick with you. They're going to be consistent. That they're going to protect you and provide for you, making your life easier and more comfortable in one way or another, or in multiple ways in others. It should be his innate duty. He should be called from the inside. He should feel something inside of him that wants to make your life easier and more comfortable. That's why I had to cut the last guy I was dealing with. He didn't care how I get to where he wants me to go. It's just that I get there. It don't matter if my toe fall off, the wheel fall off the car, or whatever. He does not care. Just entertain him. That's all he cares about. So that's why he got the boot. Well, not fully the boot, but just like so on the back burner. So on the back burner. It's like in the back burner of somebody else's house. I don't even know where it is. That's how far of the back burner it is. Just no communication. I am not thinking about penciling you into the weekend. I'm not thinking about any of that. I'm just going to live my life and deal with these other potential guys. How many messages I got right now? Let's see. I have 3 messages on my app that I got to get back to. And then probably this weekend, I'm going to hook up with one of my level up friends and we hit up the farmer's market. And we're probably going to hit up the farmer's market and maybe the museum. See, museum is the type of shit that I do with my girlfriends. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not about to go on no date to no free museum. If I want to go to a museum, I'll go by myself or I'll go with one of my girlfriends. But your grown old ass is not about to take me to no museum. You could take me to the opera. You could take me to the theater. You could take me to the orchestra, something like that. Sure, I'm totally down for that type of art, but I'm not about to go to no free museum with you. Mm-mm. Okay. Are you explaining which show Oh, Blue Theory. Okay, no. I've only seen one episode of Blue Theory with Chioma and that narcissistic guy. That's the only one I've ever seen. Be encouraged, sissy. We're gonna get through these student loans together, okay? I got them too, but be ye encouraged because we're gonna get through these student loans and we're gonna do what we have to do. It's gonna get paid and we're gonna level up. Even with the student loans, we're gonna continue to level up. Yeah, we be waking up late, but it's the fact is the great thing is that we're here now. His main purpose in life should be wanting to make your life easier and better. Absolutely. A real man is going to look at your life and he's going to try to make it easier and more comfortable for you as a woman. It's going to be his duty. If he doesn't give a shit about how difficult your life is. Now, this is another thing, and maybe I need to just do another thing on vetting. When a guy says online, I'm low maintenance, he doesn't mean that. What he's saying is, I want a low maintenance woman. That's what he's saying. When a guy says, I want equality in a relationship, what he's saying is don't ask me for anything, but give me everything I want, but don't ask me for anything. When a guy says he wants a financially stable, uh, independent woman, what he's saying is don't ask me for anything. That's what he's saying. Don't ask me for anything. So, of course, those are the guys that I swipe left on because for obvious reasons. I'm going to ask you for something like probably pretty soon, actually. I'm not even going to say eventually. Probably pretty quick, an opportunity for you to contribute to my life will be presented to you for you to take advantage of that opportunity. Real talk. I was talking about Chioma and I couldn't remember her name. Yeah, it was Chioma. Was the guy? Oh, and Paul. Chioma and Paul. That guy was so narcissistic. Yay, you made level up friends. Yes, I did. I made level up friends, and like one of my level up friends lives out of my state, and so I'm gonna try to link up with her. And I'm in the process of setting up dates, and that's why I've probably gone through like 300 guys just swiping in that particular city. So now I'm down to about 5 that, you know, I'm asking them, well, what do you have in mind? Because I need you to present your best and final. I need you to lay it all on the line because I'm scheduling out my dates. I'm scheduling out who I will be, spending time with, and I really don't. What's not acceptable is we'll hang out somewhere. No, no, no. I need you to tell me what restaurant you want to go to, like what show. Tell me everything that you want to do. Give it to me because I need to compare all the offers and decide. And so I'll probably see her. And then I have another level up friend who she lives like in a more rural area outside of my city. So whenever she comes to the city, we'll probably link up. But like two of my level up friends are engaged to providers. Like when I say providers, I mean providers. Okay. One of them one of them just got like 3 Cartier gifts for their anniversary, and the other one just shut down Louboutin store. Okay. Those are the types of men that they're with. But my other level of friend, we're both single, which is cool too, because that way like we can go out and meet guys and stuff like that. So I like having the variety. But I like the inspiration too that these are women in their 30s. Actually, both of them are in their 40s. Both of these women, they're in their 40s and they're engaged to super provider men. So it's not too late, it's not too late, ladies. It's really not, because these women have excellent mates. And then my other level of friend who's single, we're the same age, so that's always good. Yeah, providers, when I tell you. And, like, I like them too because 'cause I'm like, if they know anybody, like, I am so down for a blind date. I'm down for, arranged marriage, I don't care. Like, where's your brother? Where's your cousin? Where's your colleague? Send them my way. Anyway. Anyway, y'all, I just wanted to come on here and, share that information about these con artists out here scamming women up out of their preciousness because it is very rampant and you need to know the signs. You need to know how to gracefully bow out, not unsubscribe, block so that you can keep it pushing, you can keep it moving quickly so that you can get on to vetting the next man. Don't waste your time on any one bandit. Keep it pushing quickly. Quick, quick, quick. Make your decisions fast. Don't second guess yourself. Trust yourself. Trust your gut instinct. All right, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe. Oh, let me tell y'all. Let me tell y'all. Okay, so as far as getting the community tab, it's coming. I meet all the requirements. Well, we have over 4,000 hours of watch time. You need 4,000 hours of watch time. The only thing is just the subscriptions. So we need 1,000 subscribers. So if you would be so kind as to share this on your social media, your favorite video on your social media, I would so appreciate that because that will help people find the content and it will hopefully encourage them to subscribe. And then once we get to the 1,000 subscribers, all the other check boxes have been checked. And that will be the last thing. And we'll get the community tab. Yay. All right. I appreciate y'all sticking with me and supporting the channel. Peace and love.